Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be talking about how we can correctly multiply two binomials together using the FOIL method. So, some of you might have already heard of the FOIL method, others of you may not have, and others of you might already know how to multiply these properly without ever hearing of FOIL. So, whatever works best for you, as long as you're doing it correctly, you don't actually have to use FOIL per se, but that's what I'm going to show today. So, FOIL, it's basically, FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, last. First, outer, inner, last. And the purpose of FOIL is that it tells us what we need to multiply and reminds us there's four things we actually have to multiply together to multiply this accurately. So when we say first, what do we mean? We mean the first in each bracket, right? So A times C would be first. Okay, then outer. Well, that would be these two. This is on the very outer, and this is also outer. So the two outer ones. So that's AD. Okay, what about inner? Inner would be the opposite of outer, so just B and C, the two in together. So plus BC. And then last but not least is last. So last will be D and B because they're the last ones in their respective brackets. So that would be BD, right? And so first, the FOIL method tells us that rather than just multiplying, some of these things, we have to multiply everything. We have to multiply the first two together, then the outer ones together, then the inner ones, and the last ones together. And so in the end, we should actually have four different terms that we're adding together. Now, some of them might be like terms that we can then, compress down a bit, right? We can collect them together and have less terms. But when we do this at first, we should have four terms. So I'm going to go through some examples with some quadratics, and we'll get into what quadratics are in the future, because this whole unit is all about quadratics. But regardless, let's go ahead and get into this. So for this first one, well, what's first in our acronym, FOIL? Well, F, which is for first. So that means we multiply the first in our first bracket together and the first in our second bracket together. So that would mean x times x. What is x times x? Well, that's x squared. So I'm going to write x squared. Okay, next one in FOIL is O, which is for outer. So outer is this x, which is outer, and this 4, which is also outer. So plus 4x is our next one. Then we have inner, right, which inner is the 2 and this x, so plus 2x. And then we have last, which is this 2 and this 4, right? The last for each bracket. 2 times 4 is 8, so plus 8. So there we go. Now we're going to just collect like terms. So the only like terms we have are the 4x and the 2x, and 4x plus 2x is 6x. And so this is our final answer. And so basically we use the FOIL method to expand this from factored form to standard form. And we'll get into that more later. But for now, just know that when we expand something, we end up with standard form. Okay, let's do a couple of more examples here. This next one is x plus 3 times 3x plus 8. So what's first? Well, first is f, which is for first. So we multiply x and 3x together, and we get 3x squared. So there we go. Then we have outer, so that's x times 8, so that's plus 8x. Then we have inner, which is the 3 times 3x, which is 9x, so we're going to add 9x. And then we have last, which is 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. And then last but not least, what are we going to do? We're going to just collect those like terms, the 8x and the 9x together, to get 17x. And there we go. Awesome. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. So with this one, it's x times 2x first, so that's 2x squared. Then we have x times 1, which is just plus x. Then we have 7 times 2x, which is 14x. And then we have 7 times 1, which is 7. And then we're just going to collect like terms and say that x, which is the same as 1x, remember, plus 14x is 15x. And there we have it. All right, well, that is it for multiplying two polynomials. I'm not sure what I said there. Multiplying two binomials. And next time we will talk about common factoring. So good work today, everyone. And next time we'll talk about common factoring. Bye, everyone.